All right, let's see here. All right, we are live. So Bitcoin has just soared past its prior all-time high and has just smashed beyond $93,000 per coin. Okay, so this is a massive deal that a lot of people have been waiting for in this industry for years. This is a huge shift, and the entire blockchain industry is really primed for explosion. Okay, and curiously enough, this is lining up perfectly with the 4-year crypto cycles. So in this video, I want to talk about why it's such a big deal, what I think could happen next, and also a lot of technological advancements that have just happened in the last week or so, because we're getting into that phase where new stuff is coming out all the time. And if you want to stay 2 steps ahead of where this space is going, then you have to keep on top of this. And that's exactly what I'm here for on this live stream today. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. And on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's what you're interested in, then smash that like button down below and subscribe. And while things are heating up in this space, the absolute best way to make it in the crypto space is to increase your income by becoming a blockchain developer. And I can show you how to do that step by step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Automatic Beats, we got David Stone, we got a lot of faces that I have seen in my streams in the past. So really quickly, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you've been a subscriber for quite some time, I used to do these streams pretty regularly when there's a lot to talk about in the crypto space. And, what I'm here to do is keep you all on top of what's happening every step of the way. And right now we're entering into that phase where there is going to be a lot to talk about. So I want to see for you all, do you like seeing these streams? Leave me a comment in the chat. Also, if you're watching this later, make sure you like the video, subscribe, leave a comment after the video is published. That really helps these out, and it lets me know that you all actually want to see content like this. Okay, so let's get down to business. So the Bitcoin bull market has officially started. Okay, now when I say it's officially started, I mean the really exciting part of the bull market, because really, if you look at the price trend, we've been in a bull market for basically 2 years at this point. All right, it's been a slow grind at this point, but we significantly broke past our prior all-time high. And the last time I really did a deep check-in with the market like this was early this year, back in March, when we were, right around that all-time high. We kind of broke past it a little bit, but I was saying, like, look, everybody, we have to conclusively break past the prior all-time high for this thing to really skip to that next leg. And that is what we have done. Okay, that's the first major reason. Okay, now, we do need for the price to correct some and see what happens after that to see if we're really out of the weeds. I'll talk about that here in a second, but that's the first major reason to conclude this, is that the charts are telling us something important. Okay, and that doesn't take a genius to see that. But reason number 2, in case you're not, paying attention outside of the crypto bubble, is that crypto is now everywhere, not just on YouTube, not just on, crypto publications, but if you look, I just took some screenshots because I was just browsing the web the past few days, and it's almost like you can't even escape it, right? So, Bernstein, $800 billion of assets under management, saying basically, welcome to the crypto bull market. Buy everything you can. Don't fight this. Add exposure as soon as possible. Okay. Let's see here. I mean, I saw this screenshot on CNBC, Bitcoin, the banner at the top of the entire website. Okay, Bitcoin tops $88,000 as crypto euphoria over Trump win, shows no sign of waning. All right, we've got The Economist basically saying why crypto mania is reaching new all-time highs. And then, of course, we have things like Standard Charter putting out a report saying that crypto market cap could balloon to $10 trillion by 2026. All right. So it's everywhere, right? Reason number 1, the charts don't lie. Reason number 2, everybody's talking about this, okay? So why is this happening? All right, why are we seeing crypto do its thing right now? Well, if you watch my channel at all, I'm not a huge believer necessarily in the 4-year cycle prophecy, okay? But, ironically enough, it looks like it's playing out again. Basically, I think it's one of those things where enough people expect it, that, like, when Bitcoin is going up really fast and is approaching its all-time high, earlier in the year, most people were like, hey, this is too fast, right? We're going to wait till the timing is right for this thing to really go hard. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing this thing happen now. Some people are like, hey, it's going to happen in 2025. We're close enough to 2025 that the opportunists are going to front run this. Now, obviously, the other aspect of this is what just happened with the presidential election in the United States. Again, I don't love talking about politics on my channel, okay? But I just gonna be realistic, right? That's one of the big reasons for this. Obviously, I mean, you're seeing that come out in the headlines, right? Basically, Bitcoin tops $88,000 as crypto euphoria over Trump win shows no sign of waning. I just put out a video on my channel kind of explaining this, but I can quickly recap it basically. So obviously, Trump is the 47th president of the United States elect, all right? Inaugurations in January. Looks like the Republicans are going to control the House and the Senate as well, both chambers of Congress. And the outlook is that, on top of hopes for the economy to improve, also basically, the GOP has moved towards being a more pro-crypto party. Okay, Trump is the first vocal crypto president ever. Most vocal pro-crypto president we've ever seen. And, we've got plans to potentially create a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the United States. Lots of regulations being favorable for crypto in the United States. And that's a huge bed for innovation to actually happen in the US, which is the most important if you're watching this video, if you're interested in blockchain technology, because that means we're going to see a lot of adoption, a lot of opportunity for those who are interested in this industry, okay? But that's coming out in the crypto prices as well, all right? So there's a lot of optimism for this, but what you have to know is sometimes the reality doesn't quite match the expectations. So it could fall short of our expectations, whether that's how high the price goes, how long it takes the price to get to a certain level. Maybe it's faster than people expect. So what are the possibilities on the table? Because we have to look at this in terms of likelihood. What are the possible scenarios out there? Nobody's got a crystal ball to know. The best thing that we can do is look at the options and make the best decisions we can based on what limited information we have available. So first, let's start with the target, okay? So a lot of people, a lot of analysts are basically targeting $10 trillion for the entire crypto market cap this cycle, okay? So again, that's not the Bitcoin market cap. That's the entire crypto market cap. So if you go to like CoinGecko or something, you look at the top here, total market cap, right? So we're a little over $3 trillion right now, all right? And the target for a lot of people is 10 trillion. So that's plenty of room to run. Again, that's at the peak. So the composition of the crypto market will change a lot based on Bitcoin dominance, all that type of stuff, right? We could see Bitcoin go up a lot, then tank, and then altcoins go up a lot, and then, kind of change the composition of that. But that's the entire crypto market cap. That's the target, okay? So we may or may not reach that target. We may get close to it. We may push beyond it, but that's what a lot of people are eyeing. So what you have to understand too is a lot of people are essentially getting exposure now to crypto through ETFs. We have Bitcoin ETFs. We've never had that before in a bull market. We've got Ethereum ETFs. We've never had that before in a bull market. There's lots of hope that if we see regulatory improvements inside of the United States, it'll be easier to get other crypto ETFs approved. And so that's going to be a new set of investors into the space for this time around. And that could really change the game, all right? So that's just something to take into consideration. So that being said, what are the possibilities on the table? So if everybody's eyeing 2025 to be this nice, let's see, 13 months from here, where you've got all this time to just sit back and relax. We could see just like a textbook easy ride up for 12 months. It's very possible. We kind of saw something like that in 2017. All right. I'm not necessarily betting on that. I think how the crypto market tends to play out these days is there's so much information about it now that we sort of get a collective vision, and that keeps people sort of focused on what that collective vision is. And then we kind of fall short of that. And a lot of the, smart money or whatever kind of tends to take profits and get out before that happens. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't reach $10 trillion in market cap. It also wouldn't surprise me if we go up really fast. Some people get shaken out before then. Or, you know, maybe we've got 8 months left in this market, maybe 6, whatever. I don't know. Right. But you have to consider that things could cool off quickly, even if the bull market doesn't end. Like there is a possibility that, you know, Bitcoin reaches like $120,000 per coin, like next month, and then that's it. You know, it is possible. I don't think it's super likely, but it is possible. It could also be that we smash 100K and then we cool off for a little while. Okay, so because if you look back in 2021, after we broke our all-time high, the Bitcoin price basically doubled. And then we saw, you know, some pretty scary corrections, but it kept stair-stepping up to that peak of $69,000 per coin, roughly. All right. And then it cooled off for an entire summer until it had a second wave. So some metrics that I want to look at, all right, that are making me a little bit cautious right now, all right, as we enter into this new phase, are number one, let's just see here. I had this pulled up. Well, I don't know where it is right now, but basically it's the entire, like all the assets, the top 10, 20 most valuable assets in the world. And like gold's up there, right? It's like the number one, all that type of stuff, you know, Apple stock, et cetera, et cetera. Bitcoin's now number 7. All right. I wish I had the visual to show my screen. I had it in one of my browser tabs. It got closed. I don't want to search for it right now, but yeah, Bitcoin's ranking up there. All right. And I expect that to continue. But other stuff is like the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Okay. So we are definitely in the extreme greed territory. Now, in bull markets, you can definitely stay in the extreme greed territory for quite some time. Okay. I mean, you can see even just early this year, once we entered into extreme greed, we basically stayed there, minus this little part, for basically, you know, a month and change, right? So we've been in it since, let's see here, just a few days, right? So we could stay in extreme greed for quite some time. And even if you look at prior bull markets, which this index doesn't let me go back that far, you can kind of go in and out of it. But when you enter into the extreme greed territory, that's when it is time to start being cautious. Okay, it doesn't mean the fireworks can't still go off. It doesn't mean the party's going to end tomorrow, but it is something to watch out for. Now, the other kind of metric that I like to watch is the Coinbase App Store ranking. All right, and currently we're at 13. Okay. So whenever Coinbase is the number one app in the App Store or close, like top 5, that's when things are likely to correct pretty soon. This is basically it's basically an indicator of like the retail investor. I hate when people use that word really on YouTube, because pretty much everybody watching a crypto video on YouTube is a retail investor, including myself. Okay. But what they really mean is the fair weather crypto investor, the non-institutional fair weather crypto person who's like, hey, I saw this Bitcoin thing go up and I'm going to like start getting into this now. And that may be you for watching this video. No. Hey, I've been there, right? That's kind of how I got into crypto in the first place. Everybody starts from somewhere, right? That's not a criticism. I'm just talking about the nature of reality here. So anyways, whenever that thing goes to like top 5, number 1, that's when things aren't necessarily over, right? But like could indicate a temporary top, right? That could take a little while to correct. So we're at 13. We were recently at like 40. Okay. But basically after the election, it just started to shoot up. So those are a couple indicators. Now, that being said, I still think the entire space is bright for the foreseeable future for the industry itself. Okay. Because basically what happens is that Bitcoin does something crazy. It catches a lot of people's attention and they want to get ahead of that wave. I'm talking venture capital. I'm talking like companies building the space. If everybody now thinks that, you know, the economy is going to improve, that interest rates are going to decrease, that we've got a pretty good shot of more favorable crypto regulations in the United States, like they're going to try to get ahead of that and be at the starting line whenever those things become a reality. They want to skate where the puck is going and get ahead of it. All right. So I'm already seeing this. I'm already seeing an uptick in the industry. And I think that that will likely continue for the coming months and years, despite really what happens short term with the Bitcoin price and other, altcoins, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So that's the most important signal here. Obviously, there's been good opportunity the past several years to get into this industry. And like I always say, the best thing to do is to get into the industry and lay the foundations for your skills before that happens. But here we are. Now's the second best time to do it. It's like, what's the saying? Like, plant a tree. What's the best time to do it? 10 years ago, the next best time is now. So, yeah, I mean, we're already starting to see huge upticks in hiring, people wanting to launch new projects, people expand their teams for the first time, and like a big uptick in that for the first time in quite some time now. So that being said, let's look at a couple of major technological changes that have been coming out in the past few weeks, because I'm not all about price on this channel. You know what I mean? I think, crypto is definitely a great way to make some long-term investment gains, but the absolute best investment that you can make is in yourself and in your skills and being plugged into the technology that's actually driving all of this stuff. And we're at that phase where like new stuff is going to be coming out all the time. And the right move is to stay on top of that, okay, to see where everything's going. Because it's just like these other people. Like if you know a big change is coming down the pike and you prepare for it, and you're at the starting line whenever that change takes place, then you have a massive advantage, okay? So one of those, let's talk about Ethereum, okay? Because if you're new to this channel, that's what I've primarily focused on as a developer, okay? So I am a blockchain developer. I focus primarily on Ethereum and Ethereum-based technologies. So like there's a lot of different blockchains out there that are surrounding Ethereum, okay? Like they're EVM compatible. So basically if you can program for Ethereum, you can work with all these different things. If you add up all those blockchains plus Ethereum, it's the dominant market share for technology in this industry. I know Solana's got a lot of traction as well, but it's still a minority player if you tally up everything. So anyways, let's talk about Ethereum. So basically, we got some huge changes coming down the pike for that, all right? So one huge thing that was announced yesterday, let me just pull up my screen here. Was essentially an announcement of what people are calling Ethereum 3.0. All right. Let me just pull it up. So there's, Ethereum is basically a protocol that's changing over time. It's being developed in a decentralized way. And, we've had a long way to Ethereum 2.0, things like that. We've introduced we've introduced proof of stake. We've introduced lots of changes incrementally to the roadmap. But now, let me just share my screen here. So Justin Drake just introduced a new plan for the end game of the Ethereum Layer 1 blockchain at DevCon. I believe it was yesterday. It was in the past 48 hours or so. Basically calling this the Beam chain, okay? And people are calling it Ethereum 3.0, even though the article says just don't call it Ethereum 3.0. Still people are doing, okay? I think that's probably better marketing than the Beam chain, but whatever. Anyways, so there's a lot of huge developments with this. I haven't really taken the deep dive to understand everything that's going on behind the scenes with this because this is brand new. I didn't get to go to DEF CON. I didn't get to watch all the talks. But basically, what it's going to do is going to be a proposed redesign of the consensus layer that incorporates all the latest and greatest ideas from the Ethereum roadmap into the base consensus layer 1, okay? Basically, what it's going to do is put all these big ticket upgrades into a single package. Basically, we're going to have ways to change the block production to where you could increase the amount of data that you're putting into the layer 1 chain because you don't need verification of all the data in every single block by every single node, which is going to have huge implications for scaling. We're talking about implementation of things like ZK tech into the base Ethereum layer, all right, which is very exciting. Now, there's a lot of criticism to this that it's going to take a while, okay? I think they targeted this like 2029 sort of end game approach. Now, that sounds kind of scary to some people, but these things do take time. And I think it's actually a good thing that they set this longer expectation, because it's notorious for saying, hey, it's going to happen really soon, and then it doesn't happen soon. It just sort of kicks the can down the road until this thing works. But that's how decentralized development works. Like, you're talking about building a rocket with people on it. It's already flying, and you want to fix the rocket while it's flying. You don't want to just send it off into space and watch it blow up with all these people with real money. It takes time. Okay. But on top of that, we have other updates to Ethereum that are slated much sooner than that, okay, like probably even next year. They're going to be rolled out incrementally. It's got a huge roadmap. I'll make a video on this to really detail it so that you can understand more in depth, but I'll give you the highlights. So there's lots of changes that are coming in the pike. Like, so for example, we could be seeing a situation where next year, where Ethereum has more smart wallet capabilities built into your MetaMask wallet, for example. So like, there's some things you can't do on Ethereum right now that you will be able to do that's going to unlock new app possibilities and user experiences. Like, one would be like batching transactions. So if you've ever seen like the really painful point where you have to like go trade on a DEX on Ethereum or Ethereum layer 2, you have to approve a token and then spend it as 2 transactions, right? If you batch transactions, you can just approve and swap all in one click, right? That's huge. Now, that's more of just a user interface improvement, but what about if you could open up the door for things like crypto subscription payments, all right? Where basically you're like, hey, we're going to have like automatic recurring billing from a crypto wallet, right? You can't really do that in a good way now. Sure, you could have token approvals that withdraw over a certain period of time, but it's going to open up the door to things like SaaS subscriptions. If you look at any crypto-based product that has some type of fee for a user to use it, besides just a swap fee, but like a usage fee, you have to like pay up front or like chase people down to like pay annually or something like that. But what happens when you have a crypto wallet, especially as things like USDC gets a lot more adopted, where you could, essentially have this type of stuff just recurring out of your crypto wallet much better than you could with the experience that we have now. So it's stuff like that that's really small wins that seem tiny, but they actually unlock a ton of huge use cases for blockchain technology that we just can't really do in a good way now, okay? And I think that's gonna be huge, especially as we enter into a more stablecoin economy where stablecoins have more utility to pay for things in the real world. People are accepting them. Stripe, the big payment processor, is just moving into the stablecoin space a lot more. So I think that's a huge thing to look forward to down the pike. Now, on top of the Ethereum announcements, another announcement from Vitalik is a proposed idea for basically taking prediction markets into info finance, which I think is a pretty compelling use case for crypto that could get widely adopted. So what is that? Why is it important? Well, I made some videos on my channel talking about this recently. They weren't the most popular videos because I think, again, I don't love talking about politics on my channel, but it has been a hot topic this past year. So Polym Market was a huge like MVP app for the entire crypto space in 2024. I'm not going to talk about the election that much, but basically the whole idea was people use this as a source of truth to see what they thought was actually going to happen as an outcome of the election. How it would say something different than what polling data was saying, and Polym Market basically got it right. And it got it right way before everybody else, okay? So that regardless of how you feel about the outcome of the election, a lot of people love it. Some people absolutely hate it. Totally get that. The whole point is that a lot of eyes, like major number of eyes, were on a blockchain app, okay, using this as a source of truth. So what that's doing is unlocking a huge use case of blockchain technology to sort of bring the source of truth for the internet for what is out there and letting people sort of bet on those ideas in a decentralized way. And whatever market is leaning in that direction actually has real money behind it and lets you sort of kind of get a data point on what reality could be. Now, Vitalik is taking this idea to the next level, all right? So basically talking about prediction markets for info finance, okay? So it's like taking something like Polym Market and bringing it into a social media application. Okay. If you've ever browsed X or Twitter, or maybe even some other platforms like Instagram or Threads, and you see something like a fact check below the post, all right, it's getting pretty common these days, especially around controversial issues. Like where does that fact checking come from? So some platforms is just centralized, and they have sort of like have their moderators do it, and they'll post like a fact check below the post. All right. X now has the community notes feature, where, you know, at least there's a community behind it. But Vitalik is taking this one step further to where you sort of like take community notes and the fact checking and you put it into like a prediction market. So like info finance, right? So if you have something that looks like it could be a disputed truth claim online, like you just let people bet on it, right? And that becomes sort of your source of truth for your community notes. Now, that's like one application. There's some other ways that he applies this idea. He's got a whole post on it. For whatever reason, I can't pull it up very well. I think his site's like down or something. I'm not really sure. I would show you more about it. But anyways, maybe I'll make another video about that. If you're interested, leave a comment down below. So you could see the use cases for prediction markets essentially expand beyond just this like one website, Polym Market, right, to being actually integrated into other applications. Think about it like AI, right? We're seeing that with AI, where, you know, everybody's been using ChatGPT. They've been using artificial intelligence, image generation, things like that, right? But we're seeing a move towards like taking AI and integrating it into other features of existing applications. Think like Apple Intelligence, if you're an Apple person, right? That's a new thing. We've got Apple Intelligence on the devices, and now it's getting like integrated into different features of your apps. This would be a similar type of thing where, like on social media, yeah, you can integrate AI into it, but now you can just integrate blockchain into it by having this sort of prediction market maybe built into some type of centralized system. Okay. So pretty exciting stuff. So another thing that I want to talk about is the Coinbase Index that just launched. Okay. This is a huge deal. Okay. So basically, Coinbase just launched the Coinbase 50 Index. So essentially, this is kind of like a crypto S&P 500. All right, so if you're not familiar with what the S&P 500 really is, basically it's a stock index. And this is like a crypto index. So what does that mean? So like an index is basically like if you want to invest in the stock market, okay, and you want a good return, but you don't like want to be a stock picker. You just want to watch your money over time appreciate and probably appreciate at a reasonable rate of return. That's why you buy an index. It's like an S&P 500. You don't have to pick the stocks. It's managed for you behind the scenes. And then over time, hopefully that thing just appreciates in price, right, at a reasonable rate of return. Same with crypto. Like people get to the crypto markets and they're like, what do I buy? Okay, how do I weight my portfolio? Well, this essentially is answering that question, okay? So you can just buy into this index, and it's weighted, right? So you can see the current weighting of it. It's like 50% Bitcoin, 20% ETH, 6% Solana, Ripple, Dogecoin, and then, you know, a basket of other assets down on the smallest weighting of 10% in aggregate. Okay. So you can also trade the index if you want to, like, you know, buy, sell, or you can just hold it, right? So this is a huge thing. People have tried this in many different ways in the past, but this is a huge offering from Coinbase that I think is really exciting, that I think was actually going to get a lot of adoption, because I think people want to set it and forget it strategy and not figure out what coins to pick. And Coinbase is a huge reputable brand that I think is a really good organization to pull this off. Okay. All right. So lastly, it would not be good if I didn't touch up on meme coins. Obviously, we're in a huge meme coin cycle, in addition to what's going on in crypto. And we've seen some huge moves in Doge. Okay. Why is that? Okay. Obviously, we're in a meme coin cycle. In addition to the crypto cycle, Doge is sort of the grandfather of the meme coins. All right. It's had a huge run up lately. One of these is because it's like the Elon Musk trade. Again, don't want to get too much into politics, but we have seen, you know, Elon Musk appointed to be part of the Department of Government Efficiency, okay, in the United States. So that stands for Doge. Okay, so we actually have Doge, listed there, and I think people were front running that. I think that probably got leaked, or we're betting on that happening, and it did happen, and that's one of the reasons we're seeing it, absolutely explode. A lot of other memes. I could go through Dex Screener, Bird Eye, all the apps out there and talk about memes and what's been happening. I'm not going to do that on the stream today because I don't have a ton of time, but if that's something that you want to see, I'm trying to figure out what you all want to watch right now as things are changing. There's a million things to say on top of. I can't do everything. Maybe we'll talk about a little bit of this one day, maybe a little bit of that the other day, or if we can have time to cram it all in, just let me know in the live chat what you all want to see. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but I think I'll probably kind of cut it there for today, answer some questions. Am I Satoshi? Not quite. Let's see here. DCA is finally paying out. Yeah, that's awesome. Is Sui going to have a role in the future? It's early. I think Sui's got some potential for sure. We've seen lots of different projects try to take off of the Libra DM model, okay, and actually try to implement what was started there. Sui, it looks like it's getting the farthest that anybody really has in terms of traction. So it's got a unique category in that regard, especially with the Move programming language. So I think it's got some potential. Obviously, I have no guarantee about what's going to happen in the future. Let's see here. Beam chain. Yep, that's right. Is Solana going to boom more than Ethereum? I think it's very possible, from this point forward. Obviously not financial advice. Again, nothing on the video I'm trying to say is financial advice. Not telling you to buy or sell any cryptocurrency-based information. But, it's got a smaller market cap. It's a hot coin for sure. It would not surprise me if it outperforms from here. But again, I look at these things in terms of the long term. I think Solana's got good traction. So I think so does Ethereum, and I'm really excited for the updates that are coming down the pike for Ethereum. Somebody says from the start, it's always been 2025. I think to be good. Yeah, it could play out that way. So it says, how do you borrow millions of examples in flash loans? That's a good question. So we are going to have our flash loan masterclass tomorrow. So you can go to dappuniversity.com/sign up if you want to see how to use flash loans in your own applications, how to earn passive income with them. I'll show you everything that you need to know. Okay, so I actually have gone a little bit longer than I anticipated today. A lot of the stuff just kind of came out. There's a lot to talk about. I didn't actually get to everything that I wanted to do today, so maybe that'll give us some more stuff to talk about on another stream. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Do you like seeing these streams? Do you want to get all the updates as they're coming out? I want to hear from you. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's going to help me know whether, you all actually like seeing these. If it's helpful to you all, then that's something that I will definitely do. That is what I'm here to do. So, as always, again, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button down below, leave a comment after the video's uploaded, after it's done being live, and let me know what your thoughts are. That really helps the engagement on YouTube to let me know that you all want to do these. So that's all I got for today. As always, there's a ton of opportunity in this space. The absolute best way to make it in this space is to increase your income by becoming a blockchain developer. And I can show you to do that step by step to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You really have to be expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. The next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.